Have you ever really stopped to think about the journey behind, say, the phone in your hand or that app you use every single day? It's not magic, that's for sure. It's a really complex and honestly fascinating process called product design. Today, we're going to pull back that curtain and explore the art and the science that decides why some products just disappear while others become a huge part of our lives. And we're kicking things off with this idea because it really just hits the nail on the head. This isn't just some nice-sounding quote, it's the absolute truth of any business. You see, product design isn't some department tucked away in a corner, it's the very DNA of the company. Everything else, marketing, sales, you name it, is built around the stuff an organization actually makes. So that brings us to our first big idea. And it's a powerful one. Design is destiny. Why? Well, because the choices made on that drawing board, right at the beginning, create this massive ripple effect that touches every single part of a company, for better or for worse. Let's dig into just how deep those ripples go. Just look at how this all connects. The initial design choices, they directly set the final cost of a product. They define its quality, which shapes the customer's entire experience. Those choices even determine how fast you can get it to market. And when you add all that up, cost, quality, speed, what do you get? Well, you get customer satisfaction, and that is what gives you a real competitive advantage. So getting the design right isn't just important, it's pretty much everything. Okay, so with the stakes that high, where in the world does a company even begin? Before a single sketch is even considered, any new product idea has to face this gauntlet of really crucial strategic questions. You can think of it like a gatekeeper stage, and trust me, most ideas do not make it through. And this table lays out those hurdles perfectly. First, the practical stuff. Can we actually make this thing? And can we service it? Then you've got the market question. Is anyone actually going to buy it? Third, the strategic one. What level of quality are people expecting? And how do we stack up against our competitors? And finally, the bottom line. Does this whole thing make economic sense when you factor in everything from potential liability to, actual profits? An idea has to clear all four of these bars to even move forward. So if most ideas fail right at that first stage, where do the successful ones actually come from? That leads us right into our next section, finding that initial spark. Now, you might think great ideas are just these random bolts of lightning, right? But the reality is way more strategic. I mean, look at this breakdown. A massive 40% of new ideas come directly from the supply chain. That means your customers, your suppliers, even your own employees on the front lines, they're your best source of innovation. The rest is split between watching your competitors and doing your own research and development. The takeaway here is so clear. Great ideas come from listening, not just from inventing in a bubble. And speaking of competitors, one of the most powerful strategies is reverse engineering. It's exactly what it sounds like. You buy your rival's product, take it back to the lab, and you literally tear it apart piece by piece to see how it ticks. Imagine a company buying a competitor's new insulated water bottle just to figure out the secret to how it stays cold for so long. It's a super direct and super powerful way to learn from the markets. Okay, having a great idea is one thing, but bringing it to life in the real world, that means navigating a total minefield of responsibilities and constraints. This is where we shift from can we build it to should we build it, and how. Every single designer is basically operating within this triangle of constraints. At one point, you've got the law. Strict, non-negotiable rules about safety and liability. Then you've got ethics, that constant pressure to maybe cut a corner to save some money or rush a product out the door before it's really ready. And finally, you have sustainability, this growing responsibility to think about a product's entire life and its impact on the planet. It is a really tough balancing act. And when it comes to that sustainability piece, this simple framework is the gold standard. It's really a hierarchy of choices that helps guide designers. First, you try to reduce. Then you try to reuse. And finally, you recycle. Let's break down what each of these really means. The first, and honestly, the most important R is reduce. This all starts with something called value analysis. Designers are constantly asking questions like, is this part really necessary? Could we use a different, more sustainable material here? Can we combine these two parts into one? It's all about being smarter and more efficient right from the very beginning. Next up is reuse, and a fantastic example of this is remanufacturing. This is where used products are brought in, they're refurbished, worn-out parts are replaced, and the whole thing is given a second life. It's an amazing way to create value from something that might have just been thrown away, and they often sell for about half the price of a brand new one. And finally, we get to recycle.
But here's the crucial point. A product is only as recyclable as its design allows it to be. That's where design for recycling comes into play. It means you're thinking about the end of a product's life right at the beginning, using materials that can be reclaimed and, really importantly, making it easy to take the product apart. True recyclability starts on the drawing board.
So, with all these challenges, cost, competition, ethics, sustainability, how do designers actually manage to juggle it all? Well, they rely on a whole toolkit of smart strategies to help them work smarter, not harder. One of the most fundamental tools in that kit is standardization. It's the simple but powerful idea of just reducing variety so you can produce large quantities of identical items. Think about something as simple as a paperclip. It's not glamorous, but standardization is the engine of efficiency that allows companies to make super reliable products at a massive scale and an affordable cost. But what if customers want choice? This is where things get really clever. Companies use something called mass customization. They might use a modular design, like when you build a computer and you can pick your own processor and memory, or they might use delayed differentiation. Think about a t-shirt company that prints thousands of blank shirts and only adds your custom design at the very last second. It really is the best of both worlds. You get the efficiency of a factory with the appeal of a personalized product. Okay, quick question for you. Think about it for a second. You've got a pair of nice leather boots, and you've got a pair of simple rubber boots. Which one of those designs would you say is more robust? The answer? It's the rubber boots. And that's because they have a more robust design. See, robustness isn't about being fancy or expensive. It's all about being able to function reliably over a broad range of conditions. Leather boots might be great on a nice dry day, but the rubber boots? They'll keep you dry in rain, mud, snow. They're just more versatile and way less likely to fail when things get messy. All right, for our final section, let's broaden our scope a little. So far, we've mostly been talking about physical products, things you can hold. But every single one of these principles of thoughtful design also apply to the intangible world of services. Yeah, designing a service brings its own unique set of challenges. You can't hold a haircut in your hand, right? Services are delivered and consumed at the exact same time, and you can't just stick them in a warehouse for a busy day. This makes things like the location of a salon or how a coffee shop manages that morning rush absolutely critical to get right. To tackle all of those unique challenges, service designers rely on a core set of principles, 9 of them to be exact. And they cover everything from being cost-effective to ensuring reliability. But maybe the most important one is the idea of having a single unifying theme. Think about your favorite coffee shop. It's not just about the coffee, is it? It's the music, the lighting, the way the barista greets you. A great service design weaves all those little things into one seamless, memorable experience. So let's end on this. I want you to think of a product or a service that you just absolutely love. Something that feels intuitive, reliable, and just right. Now, you know that whether you realized it or not, every single element we've talked about today, from those initial tough questions to the sustainability choices to the robustness of its design, that is the hidden reason why it works so perfectly for you.